Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and through you to the members. I'd like to wish all of my members a very happy and belated New Year, because New Year's are about new beginnings. And when we wish our constituents and our colleagues New Year, we speak of peace and prosperity. And there's not one person in this chamber who enters without thinking about their constituents back home. And I have a question to ask those people who were here in 2003. Do you remember where you were on January 14th, 2003? Yes, the very same day that we are standing here today to debate this very issue. And I'll tell you where I was. I was with many of my colleagues here trying to figure out what to do and what was going to be in the best interest of my constituents as a brand new representative here in 2003 on January 14th. And when I look at the roll call, it's quite interesting to me, because back then on this very issue on January 14th, we had 124 yeas and 28 nays for engrossment on giving then Republican Governor Mitt Romney the powers of 9 seat cuts. And you might be thinking I'm going in one direction to say that is a reason why you should be supporting this measure. And I only get up here to offer my opinion of why I voted no back in 2003 and why I will vote again no today. And that is because I operate from a very simple premise. Different recession, different time period, but the same needs and the same voices I hear from my constituents. I didn't vote no back in 2003 because I thought the incoming governor had made mistakes as a new governor, or that I thought he wasn't taking prudent steps, or that I thought leadership wasn't doing its job. When we have a recession, we know that there are many forces that are at play that we do not have control of. And for that very reason, I also acknowledge that there's not one colleague in here that doesn't understand what pain and suffering is like in their district, because they know their district the best. And on that premise, even though I applaud the governor and I really applaud the speaker for bringing us together to make this very difficult decision, and although some people will make the argument that it is in partnership that we should join in supporting this, for me it is about my constituents and how best to do my job for those constituents. I believe in partnership, and you can call it the step-down trauma nurse in me, that when I roll up my sleeves to share in the suffering and pain of somebody in need, I do that with earnest, and I do it with the understanding that it is all our incumbent responsibility to do that. If you told me that we would be in a room for a week to try to figure out how a small community like the town of Millville, which has been bankrupt in the past that I represent, how we may be able to hold that community harmless to the best of its ability in comparison to the other 4 communities I represent, I can tell you right now that no matter how worthy the governor's opinion and how much I respect that, and how I think he's trying to hold all of this fabric of our economy together in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, no different than our speaker and our minority leader, I still know that it is my responsibility, and I know what's best for my constituents. We are going to have very difficult and painful decisions to make. That is a given. We understand that we're going to have to make those difficult decisions. And I don't question the motives of any of my colleagues, including my Republican colleagues. But I will tell you that no matter what the vote is today, no different than it was in 2003, that we are all talking about the need for partnership. And I believe that when you cast a vote such as this for the interests and wanting to be at the table, you're doing it for the very reasons that are important to your constituents. And for that, I can't argue with any colleague and would not argue with leadership or the governor. But just as much as partnership is the desire for wanting to support this very issue, the desire to be at the table and be part of that process is also the reason why you may vote not for this particular measure. And so I end with the notion that coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, but sticking together will be success. And so for that, I ask all of my colleagues to seriously consider how it will impact your district, but for me, I will not be supporting the final measure for engrossment. Thank you.